Wherever there are Chinese people in the world, you'll probably find a takeaway. In the 1950s, immigrants from Hong Kong and the New Territories came to the UK to start a new life. By the 1970s, Chinese takeaways were big business. As the parents didn't always speak good English, the children that grew up in the UK spent their childhoods helping out at the takeaways. These are the takeaway kids.
Hey, what number is this?
That's the Cantonese style one, so that is 23A.
S19 on my menu, if I remember correctly.
What about you?
That's A25.
How special fried noodle?
125.
Special chow mein is 1A.
1A?
All the popular dishes were first, you see, so...
Kasia, how old were you when you started working at a takeaway?
Between 6 and 8. First just washing up though. Nothing like major. I wasn't actually tall enough, so I had to get a little stool to kind of do the washing up.
One of the things that I did when I was like 12 years old was pushing the containers down for food. Oh. And we used to like, once you go into the frying pan, you dish up by putting it in a container. And as a kid, my job was to sort of get the lids and press it down, which doesn't seem like a big job. But when you're a kid, you think, yeah, I'm a grown-up now. And I just remember how hot the food was because it was so fresh. And you go, oh, like that.
I was about 12 years old and I was working in front of the takeaway, frying some chips. And we've got this huge metal frying range. 2 massive compartments filled with oil for frying chips at 330 degrees. So I was frying chips, minding my own business. What I neglected to remember was there's a metal lid that covers the actual frying range. I didn't lock it in place, so I was frying away, hand sort of halfway into the actual thing. The lid slides down, before I know it, it's clamped down right there. I screamed, to say the least, but...
Literally scarred for life.
Everyone's got scars.
Physical scars, mental scars, you know.
Emotional scars.
Emotional scars. There's strange microaggressions or passive racism that happens in takeaways. Customers who come into the restaurant or this fish and chip shop and they tell me about, oh, my son, yeah, he's going to China to study Chinese. And being a 15-year-old boy, I had no idea what to say about that, except for, that's good. I'm not from China, I'm from Bromley.
When I was about 9 years old, my father had an encounter with 2 hostile customers. The customers got quite angry and even more verbal, and it escalated to the point where these 2 gentlemen spat on my father's face. There is quite a common stereotype of Chinese people being quite timid, quite passive and unwilling to stick up for themselves for the fear of confrontation.
Sometimes we have regular customers where we don't actually know their names, because after like 5 years it's a bit odd to ask someone, by the way, what's your name? So we just call them by what they order. It's like, oh, it's Mr. Haddock Man, you know? He knocks on the window and go, hello. I go, Mom, Mr. Haddock Man wants a haddock. You know?
There'll be times where, because I was front of the house, that was probably the time where I can do my homework. And it was quite nice that there'll be some customers, while they were waiting, they might peer over the counter and sort of say, oh, let's have a look at your homework. Some of them might sneak in the actual answers themselves.
Back then you didn't have a delivery. You rang to collect or you walked in to order right then and there. And it wasn't until I was about 15, 16 and we thought, you know, it'd be really good to deliver. We had to buy a map of the town and stick it on the wall. So whenever someone ordered, we just had to look up on the map. And then you just essentially have to remember the route as well, because you couldn't take the entire map with you.
My parents worked really hard. I never saw my dad, he was always at work. And my mum helped out whenever she could. She had to take us to school and take us to piano lessons and swimming lessons and dance lessons. I feel like they worked extra hard to just fit that all in for us. They've come really far, so I'm really proud of where they are now.